My stepbrother did this when I was alone in the room. Growing up, my brother and I were close, not in the usual sibling sense of bickering and rivalry, but in a way that felt like we were each other's whole world. With a 4-year age difference, Ethan had always looked out for me. We weren't just siblings, we were best friends, but somewhere along the line, things began to change. It all started one rainy afternoon. My parents had left for the weekend to attend a distant family event, and my younger sister was at a sleepover. Ethan and I were the only ones left in the house. The quietness of it, coupled with the gloomy weather outside, made everything feel different. We sat in the living room watching some mindless TV show. At first, everything felt normal, just two siblings hanging out. But then, a silence settled between us. The kind of silence where every word feels like it could mean more than it should. I caught him looking at me in a way I hadn't seen before. Like he was studying me, trying to figure something out. "Are you okay?" I asked, hoping to break the tension that had suddenly crept into the room. He turned to me, a small, almost imperceptible smile playing on his lips. "Yeah, I'm fine." Ethan hesitated. "Do you ever feel like things are different between us?" I blinked, not understanding what he meant. "What do you mean, different?" He shrugged, not meeting my eyes. "I don't know. We used to be so close, but lately it feels like... I don't know, like there's something between us." A knot formed in my stomach, but I pushed it away. "We're still close," I said softly, trying to reassure him. "And maybe myself. We've just grown up, that's all." He didn't respond immediately, and for a moment, the only sound in the room was the soft patter of rain against the windows. Finally, Ethan spoke again, his voice quieter than before. "I miss the way things used to be." There was something in the way he said it that sent a shiver down my spine. Though I couldn't quite put my finger on why, I opened my mouth to say something, but no words came out. Instead, I looked at him, trying to read his expression. But it was like he was deliberately hiding whatever it was he was feeling. After a long pause, he stood up. "I'm going to get something to drink. Do you want anything?" I shook my head, still trying to shake off the weird feeling. Ethan disappeared into the kitchen, and I was left sitting there. The unease growing stronger with each passing minute. I didn't understand why things suddenly felt so intense, but there was no denying it. Something had shifted between us. When Ethan returned, he handed me a glass of water, even though I hadn't asked for one. His fingers brushed against mine as he gave it to me, and I flinched, not expecting the jolt of electricity that ran through me at the contact. "Sorry," he murmured, but his eyes were on me, watching my reaction closely. "It's fine," I said quickly, setting the glass down on the table. I stood up, suddenly feeling like I needed some air. "I think I'm going to go upstairs for a bit." He nodded, not saying anything, but as I walked past him, I could feel his eyes on me. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I felt a flush of warmth spread through me. Whether it was from embarrassment or something else, I wasn't sure. Upstairs, I closed the door to my bedroom and leaned against it, trying to calm my racing heart. I didn't know what was happening, or why everything suddenly felt so charged between us. All I knew was that I couldn't shake the feeling that something was changing. Something I wasn't sure I was ready for. Upstairs, I found myself pacing around my room, replaying the last few moments over and over in my head. Something was wrong, or maybe something was right. But it felt wrong, like walking on a cliff edge. The thrill of danger humming beneath your feet. I tried to focus on other things, but my mind kept circling back to Ethan. His lingering gaze, the strange tension in the air, the way his fingers had brushed against mine like it was more than just an accident. It all seemed so innocent, but at the same time, it wasn't. I could feel it in my bones. I sat down on my bed, staring at the wall, hoping that the quiet of my room would help me clear my mind. But that didn't happen. Instead, I kept thinking about how close we had always been. How much I had relied on him growing up. We had shared everything, our dreams about the future. He had always been my protector, my confidant. But now that connection felt complicated. My phone buzzed, pulling me out of my thoughts. It was a text from Ethan. "Are you okay?" The simple message made my heart skip a beat, though I couldn't explain why. I hesitated before typing back a quick, neutral response. Yeah, I'm tired. I set my phone down, thinking that would be the end of it. But less than a minute later, there was a knock on my door. Before I could answer, Ethan stepped inside, his face serious. You sure you're okay? He asked, leaning against the doorframe. I nodded, but the way he was looking at me made me nervous. It wasn't like before when we could just exist in the same space, without overthinking every glance, every word. Now, I was hyper-aware of everything. His presence, his voice, even the way he stood there watching me. I just needed a break, I said, my voice coming out softer than I intended. Ethan moved closer, sitting down on the edge of my bed. You don't have to be weird around me, you know. I don't want things to change between us. I don't want that either, I whispered, though I wasn't sure if it was the truth. Things were already changing, and there was no denying me. For a long moment, we sat in silence. I could hear the rain still falling outside, the steady rhythm of it somehow amplifying the quiet in the room. I glanced at Ethan, but when our eyes met, something shifted in the air again. It wasn't just tension, it was like we were standing on the edge of something we didn't understand. Something neither of us wanted to acknowledge but couldn't look away from. He reached out, placing his hand gently on mine, and I froze. It was a simple gesture, one we'd done 1,000 times before, but now, it felt different. His fingers curled around mine, holding them in a way that felt almost possessive, like he didn't want to let go. I miss you, he said softly, his eyes searching mine. I feel like we're drifting apart, and I hate it. I swallowed hard, my mind racing. We're not drifting apart, I said, but my voice lacked conviction. You don't feel it, he asked, his hand still resting on mine. Like something's changed. I didn't know how to answer him, because yes, something had changed, but I didn't know what it was or how to fix it. All I knew was that I didn't want to lose him, but I was also terrified of what might happen if I didn't walk away from this moment. Instead of pulling my hand away, I tightened my grip on his, as if holding on to him could somehow anchor me, keep everything from slipping, spiraling out of control. I didn't want to think about what was going to happen. I didn't want to think about what was going to happen. I didn't want to think about what was going to happen.